The Paul George effect. The 9-time All-Star has trade ties to both franchises that have helped reshape how both teams look. So let's break it down for you.
Neither the Indiana Pacers nor the Oklahoma City Thunder stand on the doorstep of history without Paul George.
What if I told you that Paul George isn't the real reason why OKC and Indiana met in the NBA Finals? What if he was just another pawn in a much larger game that changed the future of multiple franchises and created one of the most unlikely finals matchups ever? Two of the NBA's youngest rosters both originated from a massive domino effect by one player who didn't play for either team. How's that possible? To be more responsible for building the Thunder and the Pacers into powerhouses than Paul George was. The same Paul George who gave OKC an MVP candidate and Indiana a playoff demon. To find the truth, we have to go back to 2010 and talk about the original domino that set everything in motion for Paul George himself. I'm Jerry, and this is a clutch original on how LeBron James, not Paul George, created the 2025 NBA Finals. Let's go back to 2010. James' choice to join Miami immediately shifted the power in the Eastern Conference, also directly affecting the Indiana Pacers in more ways than one. Because in LeBron's 4 seasons there, the Heat made the finals every season, won 2 chips, and had Indiana rethinking their stacked squad. Paul George, Roy Hibbert, Danny Granger, and company beat everyone except Miami. In Georgia's 7 Indiana seasons, they had 6 playoff appearances, but 3 straight losses to the Heat. And from 2012 to 2014, these two teams both reached the conference finals in back-to-back seasons, with Miami winning each time. The James effect was also still felt in Indiana after he returned to Cleveland in 2014. Because after George's horrific injury in 2014, Indiana made the playoffs again, only to lose to the King in the first round. For 8 straight years, LeBron-led teams made it to the NBA Finals. 8 straight times, Indiana did not. And for 5 of those times, Indiana was eliminated by LeBron James. Something had to give. So in 2017, Paul George requested a trade from the only team that he ever played for, wanting to play for his hometown Lakers. Why? From the point of PG, Indiana was an organization that just cares to be competitive. They don't care to win. And there was a number of Indiana departures that led to George's decision. So instead of granting their star player his wish in 2017, they shipped him to the Oklahoma City Thunder in this blockbuster trade. But this trade also ended up being a sneaky win for LeBron James yet again. How? In 2018, James left Cleveland for LA, despite the Lakers being one of the worst teams in the league. And just 1 year later, LA and LeBron got AD, the player who reportedly wanted to go play in Indiana with George. Yet another win for the King. And the Thunder were struggling after their mega deal. Even though they had 2 of the best players in the game, they got bounced in the first round 2 straight years. Thunder GM Sam Presti wasn't having it, and it didn't take long for everything to change yet again. In a span of just 6 days, Presti moved Russ to Houston and gave George what he wanted for years, a trade to Los Angeles, but to the LA Clippers. So what does LeBron have to do with OKC? Well, we first got to talk about the George deal. That's how Sam Presti got the foundation for his team today. And the deal is still paying dividends to this day. They used one of the Clippers' picks on All-Star Jalen Williams, and they turned those other picks into more first-round picks than any other team in the league. All of this started from James stifling Indiana, but Indiana was still feeling the domino effect that would lead to their 2025 roster. Let's take a look at the 2017 Paul George trade one more time. The real star of that deal turned out to be then Thunder rookie Domas Sabonis, who didn't make any all-rookie teams, but after the trade, made 2 NBA All-Star teams, unquestionably becoming the backbone of Indiana's rebuild. Until he wasn't. In 2022, Indiana traded one of the best bigs in the league to Sacramento. But what they got in return was one of the best young and up-and-coming point guards in the NBA. This point guard seemed to be untouchable in Sacramento, but the team's other star was also a point guard. With De'Aaron Fox in Sacramento, Tyrese Halliburton was the odd man out. But as soon as Halliburton was moved to Indy, he took over, making the All-Star team each of his first 2 seasons. There was a new face of the franchise. But again, none of this happens without LeBron James dominating the Eastern Conference. So what's the full timeline? If there's no George for Sabonis trade, PG never goes to the Thunder, who can never trade him to the Clippers, and can never acquire SGA and the draft picks that have turned OKC into a powerhouse that they are today. And without a Sabonis trade, there's no Tyrese Halliburton. So it's safe to say that if LeBron's Heat and Cavaliers don't dominate the Eastern Conference for a decade, none of those dominoes fall the same way. It changes the league as we know it, and there's very little chance that the Thunder or the Pacers make way to the 2025 NBA Finals. Do you think that LeBron James really changed the course of NBA history?